everyone doing? Hey, Becca. Let's get this started and go get the milk. Hey, Anya. How's everyone doing? Hey, Grace. How's the move going? We miss you always. Hopefully once your move is over, you'll be able to come home to us. Hello, everybody. We are running out of milk. I need to buy milk today. Don't let me forget to buy milk. Please, guys. I need milk. Milk. Hey, Mary. How's it going? Mary, I emailed you back to get your address. Did you get me back? I was at the apartment finishing cleaning now. What? That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see pictures of your new house. That's so cool, Grace. Oh, I'm so proud of you. You need milk today too? Yeah, we are running out of milk. Glorious milk. We go through a lot of milk in this house. There's only 2 of us, but you would think it was a family of 5 with the amount of milk we go through. Thank you. I'll send many pictures once I'm not living out of boxes. That is totally fair, Grace. I can be patient. I know that I may seem like an impatient individual based on a lot of evidence from TikTok, but I actually can be patient, Grace. TikTok keeps messing up the invites list. Tell them to stop. You guys want to hear something funny? Well, there's like no one here. So I posted a video like over a week ago, the one where I was like gently reactivating beaded clear slimes to show people how to do it, and a lot of people got up in arms because they don't like my fingers, which whatever. I mean, I can't help you. They don't think that my fingers are normal, and fine, whatever. And so I commented to one of the people who said that, and what I said was, I think you'll live through it. In response to them asking, why do my fingers move that way? I said, I think you'll live through it. And they said, you're a terrible person. Why would you wish that on me? And I was like, that you'll live through it? What? And I asked them, I was like, you don't want to live through it? I was like, you're not going to be okay about it? I was like, huh. It's a weird response to someone telling you you're going to make it. I laughed so hard. I saw that this morning and I was like, what? I was really confused. I was like, okay, well then don't, I guess. I don't know. Do or don't. I don't know what to tell you. Look at that glory. Look at that glory. Yeah, maybe they do, Becca. Maybe they do. Bristol and those people, right? Hilarious. I don't know why it made me laugh so hard. I was like, don't then? I don't know. Like, if you don't want to live through it, like, I guess don't. If my fingers really bother you that much, then I guess, like, it's over for us, you know? I don't know. Morning, Sloth. Morning, Naisa. We were just telling a funny story about how people are all up in arms about the way that my fingers move in one of my videos, and so I told them I thought they would live through it, and they said I was terrible, and how could I say such a thing to them? And I was like, huh, weird. I thought that was a nice thing to say. Everybody running to find that comment after book club. It's on Instagram, actually. Still funny though. Still funny. It was just so funny. I was like, I don't. What? How could you say such a thing to me? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't. They told me I'm a bad creator for telling them they're going to live through it. I'm a bad creator, you guys. I'm a bad creator. Not only do my fingers move weird, I'm a bad person. Hi, Kristen. You started Tale of Sorcery yesterday? No, you can't. You can't go ahead. We're not there yet. No spoilers. Why do people think it's okay to say anything when they're behind a keyboard? I don't know, Sloth. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I don't know is an appropriate response. It is. It is. Oh, I know. So I'm just teasing. Why are you a bad person? You guys weren't in here yet. I made a video the other day reactivating slime. I wanted to use a Pocket Friend sticker to send with my order. I do have a Pocket Friend sticker to send with your order. And people don't like the way my fingers move. A lot of times I get a lot of comments against my fingers. People just don't like my fingers. So it's like, whatever. And so I commented back to one of the people who said they didn't like my fingers. And I said, I think you'll live through it. And this morning I had a comment from them that said, how could you say such a thing to me? Why are you such a bad person? And I was like, for saying you'll live through it? What? It was very funny. It made me laugh. I was very entertained. Becca, maybe they got embarrassed and deleted it when they realized, because I responded back and I was like, you don't like that I said you'll live? And so maybe they got embarrassed that they misinterpreted it and maybe they deleted it because I was like, what? I'll look it up when I'm off here, Naisa. I'm actually not sure. All the stickers cost different amounts to make. So if anyone's ever wondering why I charge different amounts for the different stickers, it's because they cost different amounts. Maybe, do you RMR which video? Remember which video? Yes, it's the one that's me reactivating the clear beaded slime, the gently reactivating lesson. People think that that I have bad fingers, so bad fingers. It's so funny. They're like, fingers aren't supposed to move like that. I was like, well, bad news for you. Here they are, and yes, they do. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to pack up those last night yet, Naisa, but they will be tomorrow. Are you double jointed? Possibly, or weak jointed. Different people call it different things, but my fingers do weird things, you know? But honestly, it's great for slime. TikTok did not send. Well, you made it in time anyway, Avery, so you're okay. My fingers make me really good at moving slime, so like, oh well. Yeah, I don't know. It actually doesn't even bother me that they said that they did delete it. That's really funny. Yeah, I think they just got embarrassed that they totally misinterpreted what I said, and they. It's because they were like, why are you so mean? And I was like, since when is telling someone they're gonna live mean? Reading comprehension is important. That's why we have a book club. Oh, cool, Mary. I'll check it as soon as I'm off of here. Book club is important because it enhances reading comprehension. Ooh, how was it, Naisa? I didn't even know there was one. What's it on? It's like, let me show you my weird thumbs. Oh yeah, look at that. People hate that I can do that. They hate it. They think it's awful that I can flatten it with it. And they hate that I can like do this and like, they hate it. They think it's terrible. Yes, it also helps dyslexia, that's right. Having someone read to you definitely helps, for sure. Mine doesn't go that far. Yeah, my fingers go, and I can do this without the pressure of another hand. I can make them go pretty far back. They can go both ways. Yeah. Guys, we're almost done. We're almost done. We're going to be on Tale of Sorcery before we know it, probably by next week. Maybe sooner. Wait, is today Friday? Next week, we'll be on the next book. Yeah, we're on chapter 16. We have 3 more to go. It's Amazon Prime and it's really emotional. Oh, that's really sad. You have to really focus. Mine just do things. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was normal. I did when I was a kid too, Grace. When I was a kid, I thought it was normal, and then at school, I figured out that other people couldn't do it, but then I found out that people really have an issue with it when I started making videos, because people don't like that when I press into slime, I can go like that, and like it bends back, and they just don't like that. They have a panic attack about it. People just like can't handle it. They lose their mind. They're like, why does it do that? I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, but everyone's body is different. Not the tongue. You can do this one, but not the thumb. Yeah. We only have 3 more chapters. I know. By Monday, we'll be on the next book for sure. For sure. Yeah. Okay, this is chapter 16. Mine does that too. I thought it was normal. My physical therapist informed me it. Exactly. I need Emerald to look at the note. Bristol left like yesterday. Yeah, but you guys, I don't think she's ever going to look at the note, because then wouldn't she know about the Snow Queen? And then it wouldn't be this big secret that Lucy has to take to her grave, right? We know that from the other series. So I don't think Emeralda ever gets to look at the note. Am I crazy? Look at this picture for chapter 16. Truly horrific. Really scary. Yikes. Okay. Chapter 16. The Righteous Reveal. Yes, but not for that. Exactly. I think they all figured out maybe it's not that secret. Oh. Maybe you're right. That's a good point. We don't ever find out what she's taking to her grave yet. You're right. Okay. Well, let's get going. The Righteous Reveal. I know, Avery, I know. We all say it. There's just no way we don't know any other way to be right now but nervous. We live in a state of nerviosity. Yeah. Here we go, you guys. Here we go. The Righteous Brotherhood took Bristol away from the fairy territory and led her into the Southern Kingdom. They traveled for hours, but the clan kept their weapons aimed at her the entire time. Bristol had no idea where they were taking her or what they were planning to do to her, but she didn't care. She didn't ask any questions. She didn't keep track of time. She didn't even look up from the ground as they moved. Wherever they were going, whatever they did, Bristol knew it would all be over soon. Bristol assumed the Brotherhood was taking her back to Chariot Hills, and she imagined a theatrical arrest was waiting for her in the town square. She imagined Maximus would use the event to publicly condemn his father's killer and preach about the dangerous nature of the magical community. Bristol knew that she wouldn't have a chance to defend herself. She'd probably be executed without a trial. She just hoped that her peaceful surrender would make the Southern Kingdom think twice about Maximus's lies. As the night turned into the early morning, Bristol realized her assumption was wrong. The smell of salt filled the air, and instead of Chariot Hill's cobblestone road, sand appeared under Bristol's feet. She looked up for the first time since they'd left the fairy territory, and she saw the South Sea ahead. The Brotherhood was taking her back to the fortress. Bristol didn't understand the reasoning behind this decision. If Maximus's goal was to make Bristol a public enemy, why would the clan take her somewhere so secretive? How would it be beneficial for them to keep her hidden? I just got a pop-up. How do you like watching this live? Negative, positive, neither. I hope you said positive. We want to keep this book club going. We all live on the edge of our seats for this, but there's no space to say it's nice, but the fingers. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, Anya. I like your humor. The clan walked Bristol across the drawbridge and into the spacious courtyard at the center of the fortress. When they were... It's funny. It's very funny. When they arrived, the Righteous King was waiting for them on the platform and held a loaded crossbow. The High Commander bowed before the Righteous King, and the rest of the Brotherhood followed. "She surrendered willingly, my lord, just as you promised," the High Commander said. "We should never have questioned you," a clansman declared. "Forgive us for doubting you," said another. "You have our eternal allegiance." "Long live the Righteous King! Long live the Righteous King! Long live the Righteous King!" the clan chanted. As the Brotherhood showered the Righteous King with gratitude, Bristol noticed he wasn't alone on the platform. 5 people were lying in a pile behind the Righteous King, and each of them was as white as snow and stiff as stone. Bristol recognized the pale faces. They were Maximus's sons: Triumph, Conquer, Victory, Score, and Marvel. She impulsively ran to help them, but none of the clansmen tried to stop her. Bristol climbed onto the platform and knelt at the prince's side, but unfortunately there was nothing she could do. All 5 princes were dead. Just like their grandfather, there was no obvious sign of what had killed them. Oh my God. You guys were so right. You were so right. You were all right. Right? Because what other reason would the 5 princes have to be dead? Maximus isn't going to kill his 5 sons. There's no reason for that. Why would he do that? He's ahead of them in line. Oh my God, you guys were 100% right. Wow. Well, at least it's not a 7th sense, Naisa. Or maybe it was. Maybe we need a sticker that says I have a 7th sense. Okay, stop. I need to stop making stickers. Anyway. Just like their grandfather, there was no obvious sign of what had killed them, but each prince's right wrist was covered with an ashy fingerprint. You monster! Bristol yelled. How could you kill your own children? Look closer, the righteous king said. There's more to this story. Confused, Bristol turned back to the princes and discovered there was a 6th body underneath them. She instantly felt sick to her stomach, and her hands started to tremble. She knew who the body belonged to without looking, but still Bristol needed to see him herself. She carefully rolled Prince Triumph onto his side to expose the 6th face beneath him. But when his identity was revealed, Bristol gasped in horror because it wasn't who she was expecting. The 6th body wasn't 7 at all. It was Maximus. Bristol was in shock and stepped away. She glanced back and forth between the righteous king and Maximus's body, but she didn't understand what was happening. If Maximus wasn't the righteous king, then who are you? Bristol shouted. What have you done with 7? The righteous king chuckled at her reaction and slowly removed his mask and answered both of her questions at once. 7? She gasped. The discovery was so appalling, Bristol's mind rejected it at first. It took her a few moments to realize her eyes weren't deceiving her, but even then, the reality was hard to accept. For the most powerful person in the world, you surely are the most gullible, 7 said. What are you doing? She asked, why are you dressed like the righteous king? 7 smirked and let out a patronizing laugh. Oh dear, you really are in denial about this, aren't you? He scoffed. I don't think it could be any more obvious. I am the righteous king. No, Bristol said. She shook her head in disbelief. This doesn't make sense. You protected me from the Brotherhood at my brother's wedding. We snuck into the fortress to spy on their meeting. We tried to save your grandfather. We tried to stop them. As Bristol listed all the reasons it was impossible for 7 to be the righteous king, it slowly dawned on her just how possible the truth was. 7 had protected her at the wedding to gain her trust. He had invited her to the castle because he knew that it would end up following the clansmen to the fortress, and he purposely stepped away from her during the meeting so he could address the clan as the righteous king. He exposed just enough of his plan so that they would rush back to the castle to save his grandfather and led her directly into the king's chambers and frame her for his murder. And all this while 7 had convinced Bristol that Maximus was the righteous king so that she would never suspect him. Bristol was so overwhelmed she almost fainted. The fortress felt like it was spinning around her, and she fell to her knees and started hyperventilating. It was you the whole time, she panted. Everything you said was a lie. Everything you did was misleading. You made me trust you. You made me care about you. If the tale of Tidbit the Twitch is a key to your heart, then I suggest you get a better lock, 7 sneered. I thought it would be difficult to deceive the great fairy godmother, but you adolescent girls are all the same. All it took was a little smile, a little interest, and a little attention. I had you in the palm of my hand. But why? She asked. What could be worth lying and killing your own family? You're making it sound so personal, 7 said. Face it, Bristol. I just want what everyone wants. Power. It doesn't just fall into our laps as easily as it fell into yours. I was 7th in line for the throne to become king. I had to get a little creative. You couldn't have done all this on your own, Bristol said. The king and the princes, they didn't die naturally. Someone was helping you, someone with magic. The Brotherhood roared with laughter as if the idea was absurd. The accusation made an insidious smile grow across 7's face. He walked closer to Bristol and whispered in her ear, Oh, well done. You finally got something right. He said, You won't believe what we have in store next, but sadly, I don't think you'll live to see it. 7 snapped his fingers, and a net made out of bloodstone was thrown over Bristol. The net was so heavy that it pinned her to the platform, and she could barely see or breathe or move beneath it. The bloodstone burned her skin, and the longer she was trapped, the weaker and weaker she became. Bristol had known this moment would happen. She knew surrendering would cost her her life, and she had surrendered because of 7's false pretenses. 7 was planning something that transcended the righteous brotherhood, and not knowing the extent of his plan gave Bristol the will to stay alive and the urge to fight him. Unfortunately, the bloodstone drained so much of her energy that it took all her strength just to stay conscious. All she could do was watch what would happen next. The Brotherhood cheered and applauded as Bristol struggled under the net. While they were distracted, 7 redirected his attention back to the corner of the courtyard and gestured for someone to come forward. It's time, he called. Time for what, my lord?
the High Commander asked. Excuse me, High Commander, but I wasn't speaking to any of you, Seven said. The Brotherhood went quiet. Before they had the chance to question him further, black smoke blew in from the back of the courtyard. The clansmen parted as Mistress Mara strolled inside and made her way to the platform. The witch was followed by the shadow beast, which took the form of a panther and then an alligator and finally an anaconda as it crawled behind her. What a delightfully desolate location, the witch said as she looked around the fortress. I'd say it needs a woman's touch, but trust me, you don't want mine. The Brotherhood couldn't believe their eyes. A woman had never set foot in the fortress before, let alone a witch. The clan were outraged and readied their weapons. Mistress Mara was amused by their reaction and cackled as she climbed the platform and stood at Seven's side. The shadow beast sat next to her like an obedient dog. My lord, a witch has infiltrated the fortress, the High Commander said. Yes, High Commander, I know, Seven said. I invited her. The Brotherhood were stunned and erupted in protest. How dare you! Her kind isn't welcomed here. You're insulting the righteous philosophy! Seven raised a hand to silence the angry clan. Gentlemen, what I'm about to say is going to shake your fragile cores, but try to keep an open mind, he said. A man's quest for power is pointless unless he sets his sight on true power. Ordinary power can be taken away, it can be deceived, it can be overcome, but true power cannot be defeated. No one can achieve true power if they're limited by prejudice, short-sighted by pride, or married to a single philosophy. They must be flexible, play both sides of the coin at all times. They must use all available resources if they want to become unstoppable. This is an abomination! We need to kill the witch at once. This is a sacred place. Oh, believe me, I'm well aware that this has hallowed origins, he said. Do any of you know why it's such a sacred place? Long ago, your founding fathers used this fortress as much more than a headquarters. Within the walls around us, deep in the ground below us, lay the remains of the first 999 members of the Righteous Brotherhood. This fortress isn't just the birthplace of your philosophy, it's a tomb. And what could make a man more unstoppable than commanding an army of the deceased? After all, who can't kill a soldier if he's already dead? The Brotherhood glared at their righteous king as if he had lost his mind. Seven nodded to Mistress Mara and she nodded back. It was now or never. The witch twirled her arms through the air and the shadow beast grew into a massive cyclone. The storm whirled around the courtyard and terrified the clansmen as they ran and dived out of its way. The wind was so powerful that the Brotherhood dropped their weapons and held onto their masks with both hands. The shadow beast split into 999 ferocious animals. The creatures scattered to different parts of the fortress and disappeared into the walls and sank into the ground. Once the animals were gone, the courtyard went dead silent. The frazzled clansmen helped one another back to their feet and anxiously waited for something to happen. The enchantment was an exhausting exercise for Mistress Mara. The witch hunched over and clutched her chest as she caught her breath. Seven's eyes darted to the fortress and he grew terribly impatient. Well, he asked, did it work? Mistress Mara turned to him with a confident smile. Oh, perfectly, she said. The fortress began to rumble as if it had been struck by an earthquake. The clansmen moved to the center of the courtyard to avoid the rattling structure. Suddenly, hundreds and hundreds of decaying hands emerged from the dirt and shot out of the stone walls. The Brotherhood watched in terror as 999 corpses clawed their way out of their resting places. The dead surrounded the frightened clansmen and picked up the weapons that they had dropped. The corpses faced the righteous king and saluted him like a platoon of skeletal soldiers. Seven and Mistress Mara were euphoric as they watched the dead come back to life. Bristol had never seen anything so horrifying in her life, but she was so depleted from the bloodstone she could hardly keep her eyes open. What is this madness? The High Commander yelled. Gentlemen, just like you, your distant grandfathers made an oath to devote their lives and whatever may come after to serving the righteous philosophy, Seven said. The first time that eternal devotion is being called on today. Allow me to introduce you to the most powerful legion this world has ever seen. I give you the righteous army of the dead. As the Brotherhood observed the army, it was obvious their ancestors were no longer the same men they once were. The corpses were stripped of all personality and humanity, and they had returned to life as nothing but cold, soulless warriors. My lord, these men will never serve you, the High Commander declared. Good morning. He walked out of bed like this. That was very funny, honey. Very good. Don't join the army. They're corpses, sweetheart. You don't want this.
They're what?
They're corpses.
The army are corpses?
Yes, they're dead.
That's harsh.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying.
How are you good at fighting if they're already dead, though?
That's what he said, yeah. That's literally exactly what Seven said. He said you can't kill them if they're already dead.
Right.
Yeah. Harsh. Okay. My lord, these men will never serve you, the High Commander declared. Their oath was to protect and preserve the righteous philosophy, and you've defiled it by bringing them back with witchcraft. Oh, you're mistaken, High Commander, Seven said. Indeed, they devoted themselves to the righteous philosophy, but since the Brotherhood appointed me as a righteous king, the righteous philosophy is, whatever I say it is. And I believe it's time for a few modifications. I don't understand, the High Commander said. Mistress Mara threw her head back and cackled at him. You silly old man, she said. Don't you get it? He never cared about your righteous philosophy. He never intended to restore the natural order or start a war with the magical community. He simply told you what you wanted to hear so we could take advantage of your brotherhood. And now we have an unbeatable army and we're gonna hold mankind responsible for all the... Suddenly, Mistress Mara felt something hit her chest. She looked down and saw that a bloodstone arrow was sticking directly into her heart. Actually, Mistress Mara, since we're on the topic of dishonesty, I do have something to get off my chest, Seven said as he lowered his crossbow. I never cared about holding mankind accountable either. I fooled you just as much as I fooled them. The witch dropped to her knees and black blood poured down her body. You betrayed me, she gasped. No, I used your hate against you, he said with a snide smile. Turns out when you stoke someone's hate, you can make them do whatever you want. Mistress Mara spent her final moments in shock. Her eyes rolled back in her head and she collapsed on the platform, and then the witch became deathly still. Like a dying fire, her body started to smoke, and then slowly she disappeared from sight. Once the witch was gone, Seven moved to the edge of the platform and addressed the whole courtyard. In a few hours, the world is going to wake to the most dreadful news, he said. They'll learn that after her assassination of King Champion XIV, the beloved fairy godmother went on a rampage, killed Prince Maximus, his 5 children. The world will be so horrified to hear that the fairy godmother also partnered with a witch named Mistress Mara, and together they devised a plan to raise an army from the dead and slaughter all of mankind. But then the world will sigh with relief when they discover that I, the courageous Prince Gallivant, defeated the evil woman and took command of the army myself. I will march into Chariot Hills, I'll claim the throne, and thanks to my invincible new soldiers, I'll be the most powerful sovereign the world has ever known. My army will expand the borders of my kingdom until every inch of the planet is under my control. We will turn this world into one glorious, righteous empire, and we'll destroy anything or anyone who stands in our way. Gentlemen, it's time for you to broaden your horizons. Forget the Southern Kingdom and its magical community. This Brotherhood's new objective is world domination and obliterating all species that threaten us. You can join my army and continue to serve me as your righteous king, or you can stay here and fill your ancestors' graves. The choice is yours. The righteous army of the dead took an intimidating step toward the Brotherhood with their weapons raised. The frightened clansmen looked to the High Commander for guidance, but there was only one way out alive. The High Commander reluctantly bowed to the righteous king, and the rest of the clan followed. We remain your humble servants, my lord, the High Commander said. Seven clapped his hands together. Well, gentlemen, brothers, you've made the right decision, he said. Welcome to the righteous empire. While Seven gave the Brotherhood their ultimatum, Bristol's vision started to fade. She had run out of strength and she couldn't fight the Bloodstone any longer. Her eyes fluttered shut, her mind went blank, and her heart stopped beating. The last bit of life slowly drained from her body, and Bristol drifted into the great unknown. Harsh. Well, looks like we're finishing this book tomorrow. That's wild. Let's see. Will we be able to finish it tomorrow? It's a little more than I thought, actually. I thought there were only 2 more chapters. Looks like there actually might be 3 more chapters. Maybe it's just 2 long chapters. That was insane. I didn't see a lot of that coming, I'm not gonna lie. I did not see a lot of that coming. Even if I thought that Seven was betraying her, couldn't have seen all that coming. Wild. Okay, well. Yeah, seriously, kind of a little bit, right, Naisa? All right, so I'm gonna go because I have a lot of work to get done today. Oh, that's okay, Amanda. I'll upload them all shortly so that you can be here tomorrow to finish it with us. I don't know that we are, Anya. I don't know that we are all okay. In case anyone didn't know, we do have Patreon Q&A tonight on YouTube. It is, if you can't make it, that makes sense, Becca. If you can't make it, there's a place where you can pre-ask questions and there'll be recorded answers for you. That is tonight. And that's the whole kit and caboodle. I will see you all there. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Until then, there will be a link on Patreon to that live shortly before it. You can click on the link and it'll take you directly to the live. Okay, I'll see you all later. And then tomorrow morning we will finish this book. Bye, guys. Oops. What is this? What is happening? What is happening? Why is this happening?